Pop for Altenew. And today I'm going to talk about using a circle to help create a focal point. Putting the circle behind something, in this case, my vases, to kind of pop the, um, the vases. I'm going to be using the vases, plant and vases die cut and stamp set. I'll be using Altenew's featured sentiment dies to cut out my sentiment. I'll be using heavyweight vellum, and I'm going to be heat embossing on it, so I want to make sure that it's heavyweight and can take the heat. I'm using circle dies. I'm using frayed leaf and ocean waves to start with. I cannot remember exactly what colors I used there, so I'll start with that and see how it goes. And I'll need some alcohol. And I think this is 91%. I think I got it at Walmart. Anyway, alcohol and some white cardstock. So the first thing I'm going to do is prepare the alcohol piece, which is going to be cut out, or it's going to go behind anyway, my flowers and my vases. And I got this mat out because alcohol can be very messy. And some people like to wear rubber gloves so it doesn't get all over your fingers. I don't care. It'll come off eventually. So I'm using these two colors. At least that's what I'm going to start with. As I mix and blend here, I might add a different color, lighter or darker. But I'm going to start with, and because this whole piece is going to slide under this white piece, I don't have to make sure I get it in an exact circle. I don't necessarily have to get it over the whole vellum, but I just need to make sure that it's where I'm going to cut out the hole. So I'm putting some alcohol down and kind of moving it around on the paper. I can always add more. And then I'm just going to drop some colors on it. And then just drop this in. And now I can use my blower tool to blow it around. And it doesn't matter what color you use colors that coordinate together. In other words, don't put maybe green and purple together. You don't want to make mud. And I do want to make sure that my color is nearer to the top. If you see here where that's going to be. And I did get a darker green, so I'm going to add some of the darker green. Some up here. Blow it around. And then I'll add some more alcohol. I'm just dripping it on there. So what I'm going to do at this point is I have a spray bottle with alcohol in it and I'm going to spritz it. Now, I'm warning you that alcohol is smelly. So you want to make sure that you have a nice open, good ventilation. I had a fan going and thought maybe I better not do that while I'm videoing, so I turned that off. It's just a stomper tool and a piece of felt. And I can do this and help that move around and give it some more texture. I can put the alcohol right on here and move it around this way. I can swirl it. Ah, that's better. A little more texture. I've cleaned up, trying to get my surface back in alignment here. And this is now dry for the most part. And if it is a little sticky, this is what I do. I take some leftover foiling paper and I rub it on the sticky parts. And then you get some, in this case, gold right on the alcohol sheet. Make sure that you have the gold side up because that's you want the gold to be showing. And then that makes this not sticky and gives you a little bit of fun color. Probably should have, if I really wanted that on there, probably should have done it sooner before it completely dried. But next step, now we need to figure out where we want our circle to be. And we're going to cut a circle in our, one of our white sheets of paper. And then this is going to go over the top of it. This is I believe it's about a 3¼ inch. Oh, you can't see. Hold on. Let me, oh, other way. Where's my inches? There it is. Looks to me like it's about a 3¼ inch circle. So I am going to take my 3¼ inch circle and I'm going to try to center it. Now, I eyeball things. If it's not perfect, then it's not perfect. If it was meant to be perfect, it wouldn't be handmade, right? So I'm just, at this point, eyeballing it this way and trying to get it in the center going this way. And I'll put some repositional tape down or so that it doesn't slip once I get it where I want it to be. And I'm going to go over to my die cut machine, which is behind me, and cut this out. So what I need to do now is figure out where I'm going to stamp my flowers, but I also need the vases. So I'll go cut out some vases. I absolutely love these little vases. You got flowers? You need vases. You know, I've been making cards for a long, long time, and I have no idea how in the world I made cards without this stamp wheel. It's just wonderful, really. Okay, I'm going to put this down because we're going to stamp on this. And I like this up here better than this, but I could turn it and do it that way or whatever. And so I'll get this down like that. And then I'm going to put this over the top. And I'm going to align where I want my vases. Now I'm imagining that my sentiment is going to sit right under here. So I'm going to push those up just a little bit so I have room for it right there. And I want to make sure this is even lined up with the paper underneath because we're going to stamp right on the vellum. So let's do this. Are down here enough so it will be coming out of the vase. I don't want it up here. Okay, so making sure that this is lined up properly. And that's where I want my vases to be. So I'll have one here, making sure the stem is going to be in the vase. And I have one here. Oh, I can fit them both on at the same time. That's wonderful. Like that. Okay. And then once I put my top plate on, I'll take these off. I'll take this off. And we'll stamp on this. Now I'm going to be heat embossing on this also because I want to make sure that this is nice and dark. So I'm going to be putting some black embossing powder on here. And before I do that, I want to make sure that I put some kind of anti-static powder down on this. It shouldn't be sticky, but okay. My black embossing powder. And I will use I'm going to use this obsidian ink because this is a pigment ink, so it's a sticky ink, and black on black is better than the not. And as you see, it isn't dark, dark, dark like I want it. I will stamp it one more time, but the vellum is kind of glossy, so it doesn't stick to it as well as we'd like. And because it's a glossy paper, and we're using a pigment ink, it won't soak into it. So we have to heat emboss it. Okay, my heat gun is heated up. So I'm going to be very careful that I don't overheat this and melt the paper. Yeah. So because I had my heat gun heated up, that melted really fast. And it's nice and black. So now I'm going to take my paper here. So it's going to go like that. Perfect. And then I can glue my vases down. But as you see, it's a little dull. The background is a little dull. And I don't want this just to be the base or the cover. I want it to be a little brighter than that. So I'm going to put this underneath it, and that helps. And so it's this cardstock, it's this vellum and another piece of cardstock, which will then go on my card base. Or, and I think that would be even better, I think what I'll do is I'll glue instead of having, I'll glue this to my card base like that. Now, this tear here is really bothering me. So I'm just going to cut a new piece. So you can see at this point, I have put the vellum on the card base, and that brightened this up here. So it's white underneath. Then I put the circle, then my vases, and now I can put my happy birthday right there. Oops, wrong way. There we go. Goes right there. And there you have it. And there you have it. I'm pleased with the way that came out, but you can see that the circle is bringing up the focal point of the flower in the vases. I hope you like this tutorial and maybe you'll try it. I'd love to see what you do. So post it on Altenew's Facebook page so we can see it. All right. Until next time, have a good week and good luck with the drawing. Oh, the drawing. Don't forget to please give me a thumbs up and leave a comment and subscribe. And everybody that leaves a comment will be put into a drawing to win prizes from Altenew. Bye-bye.